Beautiful ones, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Depends where you are living in different parts of the world. Today, I'm your way again. I bring God's good tidings. I'm here to share with you an insight of a book written by Dr. Sunday Adelaja, which called The Mountain of Ignorance. Yes, The Mountain of Ignorance. Before I proceed, my name is Evangelist Blossom Amos. I'm here. This channel is known as the Kingdom of Knowledge. This is a channel whereby we share the true knowledge that is based on truth, fact, and principles. This is a channel whereby we enhance, we share some of the insight of Dr. Sunday books here. The idea that God has downloaded on this man of God to impute, to invest on a book, and he just so to answer. So this channel will share some of his books, and we share the word of the Creator, the word of God, here on this same channel. This is a channel of knowledge. We're talking about knowledge. I'm talking about knowledge. Knowledge is a light. Why darkness is ignorance. So we're talking about light and knowledge. Knowledge is an information that is based on true facts and principle. That is about this channel that I'm telling you about. Kindly go and subscribe. What are you waiting for? If you have ever subscribed to this channel, then if you haven't subscribed, then what are you waiting for? Kindly go and subscribe to this channel. Like and share. Share all to all your social networks. Share to all of them. And let us keep on moving as a moving train. And please do not hesitate not to drop your comments at the comment section. I want to also hear your opinion. I want to see what the Spirit is prompting on your heart to share about what we are talking about. May the good Lord bless you for doing just that. Today, last time we talked about how that a wise man will always continue to learn. That is where we stopped last time. I told you the good thing about this channel is just that wherever we stop, we continue from there. That is a good thing about this channel. That a wise man will continue learning. That just as Apostle Paul told Peter that learn to show yourself approved. Approve to yourself, approve to God, and prove to humanity. Knowledge of God, knowledge of life, of the essence of life, and knowledge of people is very important. We have this knowledge. So you cannot agree with me that ignorance is really dealing with our community, is dealing with at large. Ignorance is a disaster. Ignorance is what darkens a man's heart that will not enable him to do what is correct. Ignorance is a darkness, and why knowledge is a light that shone on the heart of man that makes him to do what is right for the benefit and the benefit of society. So today we will continue from where we stopped, that a wise man will keep on learning this knowledge, because there's a mass ignorance. It begins the day it continue to say that I have know it all. That is why the Lord said in the book of Hosea, He said, my people only destroy for lack of knowledge, because they lack the knowledge of God. That is why the Lord said that they are destroyed for lack of knowledge. He said, as they have rejected Him, the knowledge, they have also He will reject them as they have rejected knowledge, the knowledge of God. Why did they reject knowledge? They only rejected knowledge when they not said they have already know it all. They don't want to know. They don't care to know. They are rejecting knowledge that way. And there's no how ignorance cannot occupy such mind. So, and we are not living an era whereby ignorance is on the mind of people. We see a lot of societal problem, a lot. So we have already talked about, we've been talking about, because the different form of ignorance, different variety, there are varieties of ignorance, and today we'll be listing them one by one. Different type of ignorance will be addressed. We'll be listing them of ignorance that is affecting humanity. Number one, first of all, we all have to, for us to know, for us to know, we have 12 categories of ignorance already. 12 categories, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, just 12 categories, different of its kind. But today, let us continue to learn these different types of ignorance that is available, that is affecting humanity, that is not making them to do what is right. Number one, we have ignorance. We have human ignorance. Why number two, we have natural ignorance. Number three, there's an ostentatious ignorance. Number four, there's hypnotic ignorance. Number five, there's willful ignorance. Number six, there's cultural and traditional ignorance. This is the type of ignorance. This is the type of ignorance that mainly is affecting Africa continent, Nigeria precisely. Even in Calabar, if Calabar, Cross River Calabar in Nigeria, when Mother Teresa, when Mary Slessor went there to go and put an end to this cultural ignorance, traditional ignorance. These are just ignorant that way. They implemented a culture. It was their culture to killing of twins those days. So she went there to go and put an end to this kind of ignorance. So any culture, tradition that is not helping their society, that is not saving mankind, that is not securing the lives of their citizens, is not of God, and there's no light, there is darkness. So she went there to go and put more light on there, so that they will not be taking lives, and they're in the essence of tradition. So then there's what we call learned and high ignorance. There's what we call sincere ignorance. There's acceptance ignorance. There's what we call acceptance ignorance. There's ignorance of ignorance and willful ignorance. And 12, we have what we call moral ignorance. Number one, then, because of a little time that is remaining, let us talk about this human ignorance, which is number one. Some other time again, we'll continue from where we stop. Don't just worry. We always continue from where we stop, so that we can get it and take this light to the world. He said, "Go ye therefore, you are the light of the world." Our hearts are supposed to be saturated with the radiation of knowledge. We supposed to be knowledgeable enough to put an end to any problem in our society, and to eradicate darkness out of our community. So it is our responsibility. God has given us all the equipment for us to do that. The only problem is that we lack information, we lack the knowing, we lack that knowledge. So that is why we must continue enhancing ourselves, so that we can make ourselves available to go and learn how we can solve the problem of mankind, as God has always wanted us to do. Then number one is human ignorance. This human ignorance, this is a particular kind of ignorance that is legitimate. This kind of ignorance does not occur as a result of seeking knowledge. Is not or seeking for information. Seeking knowledge or information, seeking for how to go to school, to go on. Even science, there are so science have make research of this. They cannot be able to get the results. So it's not a result of go and look for information, knowledge of it. No, this kind of ignorance is not like that. But rather is a result of absence of information. The knowledge is not available in educational system. It's not available in any sector, in any institute. It's not available for mankind. So it's not just available. We just tell you they don't know. Even so we'll make an example of even Jesus Christ did not know this information. But rather, as a result of this absence of information, it is information you do not even after you do not know, after you must have make research upon research, make a experiment upon experiment, no results is still coming out. So a perfect example of this kind of ignorance is when the disciple asked Jesus, "And when did the end be?" They asked him, "When will this end of this world?" Because we all know of Noah. The end, he ended the world with water. They say, "When will this world end?" Then Jesus responded to saying to them, "It is not for you to know the end of the world." It's not for you to know. So he told the disciples that it's not for them to know this information. That is the book of Acts of Apostles 1 verse 7. Acts of Apostles 1:7. And he said on this chapter, and I quote, he said, "And he said to them, it is not for you to know time or season which the Father has to put in you have to put in his own authority." He have put this information in his own authority, in his own direction, his own way, in his own power. So it's not in your rights. It's not your right. It's God's right to know. It is the only him that have the right to that information. So when Jesus met met. What does Jesus met here? What the information has been kept away from man by God. It is not for you to know, he said. I cannot give you this information. In another instant, what he was trying to tell to them, that Jesus said to no one knows, meaning that no one knows. Even I do not know except the Father. That is what he was telling them. That even him, he said it's only the Father. How did I know? The book of Mark make us to understand. Mark 13, 32 here. He said, but of the day of that day, the hour that the world will end, that what will the end, when will the end come? The hour, not even the angels in heaven. No one knows, he said. Not even the angels in heaven. Even the angels did not know. Wow. Even the Son of Man, the Son of Man did not know. The Jesus Christ himself, he don't know this information when the end will come. But only the Father is in charge here. So there is a lot of things that we might not get to know as a human being. We might not get to know this. There are a lot of things that we human being does not get to know. No matter how hard we try. For instance, no one knows the very time and place he or she will die. Do you know when you will die? Do you know the hour that you are going to expire? No one knows the hour you will die. So you don't know when you will die. So no one knows. No one knows for sure that the future, what the future holds for him or her. No one knows. 10 years, a 10-year child from now, when you a 10 years old from now, no one know from 10 years old, 10 years from now. No one know. So no pregnant woman will know the very moment she receives I mean the semen, the sperm of the husband, the sperm that penetrated into her and occur when the egg occur in fertilization. No one knows what a child. No woman will tell you that I know when the egg that form. You know, there are millions of eggs that penetrate into a woman. No woman knows this particular egg that formed that. No woman, even to science, they cannot discover that this is it. There is only God that know that. Only God that is a child. When man is meeting, we're not talking about IBF. We are talking about when a man and a woman is making a natural. We are talking about natural things now. This is what we are talking about. This human ignorance. So human don't know when a man and a woman is having a relation. You know, sexual relation. So no one they don't know when it will occur. So no one know what a child from that is born today will become 40 years or 50 years to come. Then no one know. No one know what will that child will become. No one know the time where he will be or he will be married. No, you don't know when you will be married, whether you be married at the age of 20, 25. As for me, I was telling at the 20, 25, I said I'm going to marry. But now I'm 30 something plus, but I only marry at 30 something. But when I was growing up, I said I'm going to marry at the age of 25, but I only marry at the age of 30 something. So no one know the age because it's just like that. It's like that. So it is just like that. It's only God that knows this. So no one know when he's going to get married, the time is going to. No one know. No one know the destiny of another person or the destiny of another person. Only God. Why? Because God is the manufacturer of every human being. He's the one that knows your destination. When we're talking about the word destiny comes from destination, when you are going to end up. When you are going to, how you are going to end up with, how you will end. No one knows the destiny of anyone except his creator. So in this instance, man is ignorant, man is limited, man is limited by this. This knowledge is not made available to man at all. It's not made to any man, he or she. So the creator wanted it to be so. So as we all see, the creator wanted it to be so in order to make some area of our lives unpredictable. Oh, unpredictable. In that way, we cannot learn to trust and be dependent on God, our creator, the manufacturer of heaven and earth, the one that want the whole world, that created the whole world for his own that created in his own according to his own plan. So is we want us to be to trust is our own to learn, even though we are not trust, we are not dependent in him. Is our own to learn. It's our responsibility to learn this, to learn to dependent on him. Therefore, nothing is wrong being human ignorance. Human ignorance is being ignorant of information that is not available, that is not known. Is not known. So it's not known. So more like knowledge. So this knowledge is not known. This information is not known. So that is just kept away from humanity. So we kept away some knowledge that is available that is not yet known. That one is different. That one is human ignorance. That is some of ignorance. There are some information, there is a knowledge that is available that human being has not been able to make some research. They have not discovered. They are still making research upon research. They are still making experiment upon experiment. They have not yet know. So next time we talk about natural ignorance. We only talk about human ignorance. This human ignorance, the information is not just available. It's not because they have not made a research. It's not just available. So that is a perfect example of it. We are seeing even Jesus himself. He say is not conversant with his information. Not talk about human being. So God wants us to put our trust in him, to depend on him, because he has made man to always make man to recognize him as his own maker, as his source of existence. So many people, they don't know the source of their existence. They only depend on their bank account. They depend on their political power. They depend on their power now. They don't know that they also have one day. That is why Alexander the Great, he gave accolade and he gave merit and he gave all acknowledgement to the maker, his maker, and be able to know that money, wealth, power is not the essence of life. So may the good Lord bless you. Those that want to know about Alexander the Great, go back and go and read the history of Alexander the Great. He was a warrior. He was a conqueror. He was a great, mighty man of his time. But at the end, he could be able to acknowledge what the Lord wants us to know here, that all power belongs to him. We should give him that chance for him to be in charge to some point. May the good Lord bless you. Kudos. My name remains Evangelist Blessing. I must again, I can urge you to go and subscribe to this channel so that we can keep on moving as a moving train, unstoppable. This channel is all about knowledge, all about light, so that we can continue to eradicate ignorance out of our mind, which is darkness. We can be able to see what is right and know what is true and begin to acknowledge what is correct. May the good Lord bless you all. Bye. Love you, but heaven love you most. Bye. Thank you for watching. Kindly, if you like what you just hear, kindly go and subscribe to this kingdom, to the kingdom of knowledge. Subscribe, like, and share to all the network, to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all of that.